Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Steve.
And I'm Ryan.
And welcome to the top 10 of 2024. It's been months since I've put out an episode, April. And the last time I put out an episode was with this gentleman right here when we talked about Late Night with the Devil. I wonder if that'll come. I was going to say, I wonder if that'll come up back in discussion. It's on my list, just not on my top 10. With that being said, though, we'll hop right into it. Top 10 of 2024, starting with number 10. Guests go first. Ryan.
Wow. So my number 10 this year. I feel like I always have to include some kind of animated movie or an anime movie. This year I chose Look Back, which I was recommended to a few times from different people, and I didn't know much about it at all. It's hardly even. It's a short film. I think it's only an hour long, but it's about two girls who are really into drawing manga. And it's just like it's a really great story. I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I watched it. I think it's on Amazon Prime. I highly recommend Look Back if you like anime at all. Even if you don't like anime, it's short. I think you'll really enjoy it. Even if you're an artist, I think you'll really enjoy it as well.
Excellent. So a nice animated film, Look Back.
Yeah.
Not unaware of that one. Don't even think I ever really saw a trailer for it. I mean, but they don't really show trailers for short films, so.
Yeah, I had to. It's if you've heard of Chainsaw Man, it's the same I think studio that does Chainsaw Man. But that's how I heard about it. So I'm just talking about Chainsaw Man because I finished the first season, and they're like, you got to watch Look Back, and I was like, okay, I'll watch it.
And there you go. My number 10. So a handful of the movies that I have on my list were mystery movies at AMC, where I did not know what I was seeing. I knew the rating. I knew round about the running time. I would buy the seat next to me because tickets are only $5 or $6. So it guarantees no one's going to be bothering me next to me in the film. And one of those films I saw this year, my number 10, is Ezra. It's a story of a stand-up comedian who has a son who is highly autistic and on the spectrum and essentially just speaks in movie quotes. And the guy has to go out west to be on Jimmy Kimmel because he's on the East Coast and he can't fly out there. And there's a big custody battle with his kid. So he essentially kidnaps his son and drives out west. And it's a father-son bond sharing, making moments and
road trip movie.
Yeah, road trip movie. Him coming to understand his kid understanding his dad a little bit more. It was just a real heartwarming, fun movie. I very much enjoyed it. The screenplay that wrote it very much based off of the relationship that he has with his own autistic son. So, yeah. So my number 10 was Ezra.
I've actually got two road trip movies in my top 10. So let's see if you can spot them when we get to them. I love a road trip movie. Planes, Trains, Automobiles. One of my favorite movies of all time. Goofy
road
movie.
Trip.
Yeah. Great movies. Yeah, I hadn't heard of that movie. I'll have to check it out. Ezra.
It was kind of in and out at the theater. It didn't have a big run.
Yeah. Who's do you know who's directing it?
Oh, I don't know who directed it, but it's okay. Sebastian. It's that comedian Sebastian. What's his name?
Okay.
It's a long Italian one that starts with an M.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's okay. Here, I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was wrong. It's Bobby Cannavale.
Oh, Bobby Cannavale. Yeah. I think it's Cannavale.
I was way wrong on the guy. What's his nut? The guy, Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro plays his dad.
Nice.
Vera Farmiga is also in it.
Love her.
Rose Byrne is also in it. Whoopi Goldberg's in it for a hot second.
Oh, this is not on my radar at all.
Yeah, it was a fun watch. It was a fun watch.
Are we going to mention any like honorable mentions or anything like that?
We honorable mentions at the end. Sure.
At the end, perfect. All right, because I have a couple that I just want to make sure we get to.
With that, we get your number 9.
All right. My number nine, I think it was last year or the year before that we did one of these where I put Wonka on my list, and a lot of people were, a lot of my friends were like, "Why is Wonka on your list? What the hell's wrong with you?" Like, I liked it. I love musicals. All right, and this year, no different. Wicked is my number nine movie. I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I kind of went because I was like, well, I got to see it. I love musicals. Like, the songs are iconic. Ariana Grande blew me away, and Cynthia, I can't remember her last name, but she also was fantastic as Elphaba. And yeah, theater kids, they might be annoying, but the movie's good. And I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of reactions from people saying, my girlfriend dragged me to this. I didn't really want to see it, and I actually really liked it. So give it a chance if you haven't seen Wicked. I really liked it a lot. I think it has really good. I mean, the choreography is fantastic. I never talk about choreography in musicals. I more care about the music, but man, those people can dance, dude. It's
It
pretty
was
incredible.
Wicked was a fun one. It's not. I won't lie. It's not on my list. I had a buddy say he was disappointed it wasn't on my list. But I enjoyed it for what it was. I've never seen the stage play.
Yeah, me either.
So just walking into it was a lot of fun. And I think it's really funny because I had to text my buddy after I watched it, and I was like, "Hey, in the second act, do they like blatantly say that Elphaba's dad is the wizard? Is like Jeff Goldblum?" And he was like, "I don't think they outright say it." And he was like, "But how did you?" And I was like, "Well, Jeff Goldblum's voice." And when he comes in and he
Yeah,
starts singing at the beginning to the lady. It's very much obvious that the wizard is Elphaba's daddy.
right.
But no, the Wiz the Wiz. Don't mind me talking about the Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Nipsey Russell vehicle. No, Wicked's great. My number nine, different direction. Alien Romulus. Um,
Oh,
I watched Alien Romulus in the theater, and it just sat in my mind for a day or two, and I mulled it over because sometimes I see a movie and I automatically know it's going on my top list.
yeah,
Sometimes, prime example, my number four, saw it twice before I even considered putting it on my list. Um, and even then, it even moved in rotation while it was mulling around in my head.
yeah.
Great addition to the Alien world, to the Alien series. I'm hoping they do more. Fun fact, I don't know how many they made, but it's the first movie to be made on VHS since A Violent Nature.
Wow,
Yeah, they made VHS copies of this movie to release for sale.
that's cool.
But yeah,
Um,
Alien Romulus available on Disney Plus.
Before we started recording, you'd mentioned that you had a top 16, and I was like, well, I can have a top 16 if you give me a minute. And my first thought was Alien Romulus would be my number 16. It was just on the cusp of being included. I didn't love it, but I liked it enough. There were some things in it that kind of bothered me. The blatant fan service of some of the lines that were in there. But I mean, man, there's some action sequences in that movie that were pretty amazing. I really liked it.
I really enjoyed it as well. That's my
Yeah.
number nine though. What do we have for your number eight?
All right. My number eight is a movie that I don't really ever want to see again. But when I left the theater, are you still there?
Yep.
Oh, you just.
Yep, I was trying to get it to where I'm not small on my screen, and
Oh, I see.
it's okay. Keep going.
All right. So my number eight is a movie I don't really ever want to see again, but I left the theater kind of feeling affected by it, and it made me uncomfortable. And I thought about it for a few weeks afterwards. I think even today I still kind of think about it. It's a movie called Civil War, um, and there's some people that did not like it.
That
Several.
movie was so fucking silly.
I really it bothered me in a deep way,
I
and
wanted I wanted to see that movie when it was in the theater until I
yeah.
was scrolling Twitter and someone was like, "Here's the last 10 minutes of Civil War where so
Yeah.
and so dies," and I'm like, Now
Yeah.
I don't want to see it. And I'm not going to say who for anyone that hasn't seen it, but please talk about how it was unsettling for you.
Yeah, I mean, the president is played by Ron Swanson, and he is terrifying. And the some of the war sequences, or some of the sequences in that movie, are just pure terror to me, at least. Just uh,
The execution scene, that first
the,
execution scene
a
with
lot of
the kid from Breaking Bad.
yeah, man, that is it's just a deeply unsettling movie. And I was like, you know what? I haven't seen Ex Machina, so I went back and watched Ex Machina. I hadn't seen Annihilation, so I went back and watched Annihilation. And I had seen Men when it came out in 2022, and I that's another movie that I was like, I just don't really ever want to watch that movie again. I liked it, but it was very disturbing. So yeah, that's also, and actually my first uh, road trip movie that I have on my list is Civil War.
Oh, I would not have taken that.
Yeah.
It's not on my list, but the movie that I saw this year that was deeply disturbing, that made me uncomfortable in the theater while I was watching it, that I never want to watch it again in my life, and that was Blink Twice.
I just watched that a couple of weeks ago, and
I
yeah,
saw that in the theater full of people,
yeah,
and I have never felt so physically uncomfortable on like that last memory flashback of like the last like that night. And
yeah,
I'm just I oh my god. I can relate to like just being uncomfortable watching a movie.
for sure.
Um yeah, I would have never I Civil War is a road trip movie. You just
Well,
cut
it
it as
is.
like as a comedy. It'd be great.
It's a feel good, a feel bad road trip movie.
Sure, 100%. Um, it's super. Yeah. I watched it um on my computer at home, pausing it throughout the day as I was doing stuff. So maybe that's why it didn't sit so heavily on me. But
Yeah.
like it was intense, and I mean, me personally, I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't watch it again. I did enjoy watching it, and then watching Man on the Inside with Ted Danson, where his
Oh.
like best friend on the show ends up being like the old guy in the movie, the
Yeah,
old
yeah,
fat guy.
yeah. He's great.
Um, yeah, oh yeah, he's great. My number eight was another mystery movie where I did not know what I was seeing, and I always forget the actress's name, so I will pull it up real fast. But it actually wasn't one that I was expecting. So it's Melissa Barrera, and as soon as it goes down, Tommy Dewar in Your Monster.
Oh,
After her life falls apart, soft spoken actress Laura Franco finds her voice again when she meets a terrifying yet wildly charming monster living in her closet. A romantic comedy horror film about falling in love with your inner rage.
wow.
It's basically the childhood monster that was living in her closet, grows up in the closet, and then she moves back home. And yeah, she gets dumped by her fiance of 3 years while she is recovering from cancer in the hospital, and then moves back into her mom's house. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I watched it as soon as it was done. I was like, oh, this is going on my top. And I'm not a big Melissa Barrera fan. I don't go out of my ways. Like I enjoy the movies that she's in, but I'm not going out of my way to find out what she's doing. And it was just a fun.
She was in Abigail, right?
Yes, she was in Abigail. She was in Scream 6 and 7, or Scream, yeah, 6 and 7.
Yeah.
She was in The Heights.
Oh, In the Heights. I never saw In the Heights, even though I like musicals. I never saw that
Oh,
one.
you should see In the Heights.
I
You
know.
will love it.
I just missed it. I don't know
It's
why.
it's such a great musical. But that's my number seven. Or my number
Oh.
eight. Your Monster.
Yeah, a lot of the times through the year you'll message me like, "Oh, I just got out of this mystery movie. You got to check it out." It's like it's always something I've never heard of.
They're really good ones, though.
Yeah. So, my number seven, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So this one is kind of funny because last year I think this was your number one or your number two, and I
Oh,
didn't.
it was my number one.
Is your number one, and I technically didn't count it in my last year's because I saw it after the new year. So my number seven this year is The Holdovers. Um, I love this movie so much. Paul Giamatti is incredible. And after we recorded, it was the Oscars, and Divine Joy Randolph won for Best Supporting
Oh,
for
and
her role
she
in this.
is just so spectacular.
She kills it. She's so good. So I think I said it last year, but this is one of my new favorite Christmas movies. I watched it with my family this year for Christmas, and my mom fell asleep because she falls asleep during movies, but my brother hadn't seen it and he loved it. He was like, "How did I not know about this movie? It's so good." It's like, so I want to spread the holdovers as much as I can to people. Like, it's the Christmas movie you should watch with your family. It's so funny.
It's so funny, it's so touching, it's so
Yes,
heartfelt.
loved it.
Yeah, it was my number one of 2023. And it is, yeah, it's spectacular. It's on Amazon Prime right now. I
Yeah,
watched it twice when it was on Peacock, and when it left Peacock, it went over to Amazon, and I've started it once since it's been on Amazon.
yeah.
With that though, my number seven was a movie that I didn't exactly know what I was walking into. The premise that they essentially give you in the trailer is it's a man and a woman, and it's a one night stand, and one of them is a serial killer.
Ooh.
And that is Strange Darling with Willa Fitzgerald and Kyle Gallner. Do I
Yeah.
tell you right now, Kyle Gallner is just rocking his shit like as
Wow.
hard as he can. Killer's spectacular performance in Smile, not giving away much, but he's in Smile too. Um,
Uh,
the bit that he does in Scream 6, no, yes, Scream 6. He's a young kid, and I want to say Jennifer's Body. But yeah, Strange Darling, fucking spectacular. Took me on turns, and it's one of those movies, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything, but they give you chapters, and the chapters are played out of order.
oh, nice. I'd heard about this movie and I was told not to look it up at all before seeing it.
Yep.
So I still don't know very much about it. I still want to see it, and maybe it'll be on my list next year.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. But that's my number seven.
All right. My number seven is a comedy that I did
You
not
mean your number?
expect.
You mean your
Oh,
number
sorry.
six?
My number six. Yes, thank you. My number six is a comedy that I didn't expect to like. This is one I went into blind. Basically, how it went was on Reddit, people were talking about Megalopolis and how Aubrey Plaza was in their least favorite and favorite movies of the year. And they're like, wait, what's your favorite? I assume Megalopolis is your least favorite. And they're like, oh yeah, she's in My Old Ass. You have to see it. And people were like, oh my God, this movie's incredible. And so I just went that day. I think I bought a ticket, and there were maybe 6 or 7 people in the theater. It was fantastic. I really liked it a lot. It's a girl takes mushrooms in the woods with her friends on her birthday and meets her older self, and played by Aubrey Plaza, and basically texts her throughout the year, or several times throughout her senior year of high school. And it was just a great movie. I didn't expect to like it at all, and I ended up loving it. And I kept telling people, you got to watch My Old Ass. You have to watch it.
So I saw the trailer for that, and the first time I saw the trailer, I cried.
Yeah.
I lost my mom at a young age. I lost my mom when I was 20. So there's a lot of unresolved, like, mother issues, or whatever, lying subconscious issues that I deal with. Um, and it's like a scene where she's with her mom, and she looks at her mom, and her mom, she's like, like, one day I'm gonna not gonna need you, or something like that, and the mom's like, you'll always need me.
Oh my
Like,
God.
or and
I tried so hard.
truth be told, there are a handful of mystery movies that I go to see that I will walk out of.
Yeah.
I have gone to see at least a half a dozen movies that I've walked out of them. One of them, My Old Ass. The reasoning, I did not want to cry that night. I was
Yep.
in like a really good headspace, and I was in a really good mood, and I was like, I don't like I'm sure there'll be like positive tears of joy, but I
Yeah.
was like, I just don't. I've gone all day without crying. Like, I don't need to cry today. So I knew what it was,
Yeah.
and I walked. There's been a handful of ones. I walked out of what was it? Boys on a Boat. I walked out of
Ooh.
Arthur, that Mark Wahlberg dog movie.
Oh, right.
Um,
I forgot
I
that came
walked
out.
I walked out of the last two. One of them was like September 5th, the one about the news crew that's filming the German Olympics
Mm.
and terrorists come. And then the one about the boxer out of Flint, Michigan, like in this fire or something like that. There's been a handful that I've just been like, no, I don't like the Scarlett Johansson, Channing Tatum. I think it was called Fly Me to the Moon. That
Oh,
was one
yeah.
of that was one of them. Sing Sing. Movies that I'm sure I would have enjoyed, but in the moment I was like, I'm not in the mood for this kind of movie. The
For
only
sure.
one the only one I regret walking out of was Sing Sing.
Okay. I heard that was good.
So did I. But yeah, My Old Ass is one that I want to see. I just knew that I was gonna cry.
Yes. I certainly did. It did not, I
Uh,
did not expect it. And it's really funny too, but it gets you.
I bet. I bet. My number six was my number one. Well, my first number one of the movie ended up going all the way to number 12. But
Oh,
my number six was number one for a really long time. And that is written, directed, starring Dev Patel,
ah, Monkey
Monkey Man.
Man. And you
I saw
told me
Monkey
about
Man
this.
twice in the theater. I saw it
Yes.
twice in the theaters.
I still have not seen it. I
You
haven't got
son
it.
of a bitch! It's on
I know.
Amazon. It was on Peacock with the
I know.
holdovers, and then it jumped over to Amazon. You should watch it tonight.
I'll do it tonight. After this, I'll
Uh,
watch it.
Two of my movies, funny enough, too, on my top 15, two of my movies have Charlotte O. Copley.
Oh,
The
from District 9.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Sholto.
The other one, I'll give it later, but it's Boy Kills Worlds. That's the other one that it's down. It's lower on the list. But Boy Kills World used to be up there. But yeah, so my number six is Monkey Man. I loved it the moment I saw it. Um, Told my uncle, like, hey, you should go see it on your own. Like, don't take Aunt Susan, don't take Ben. They had a cousin that was visiting. I was like, don't take them. I'm like, go see Monkey Man on your own. And the cousin heard me talking about it and was like, well, that's the movie I want to see. So all four of them went to go see Monkey Man. And then my aunt called me and was like, I don't know how this is like the best movie you've seen all year. We have got to talk about your mental stability. Um, I love Monkey Man, and I will give
uh,
one. This is the last thing I'll say about Monkey Man because I think this is a fair warning for the movie, but it doesn't spoil anything. There's a point where he meets a puppy, and a person says, "Don't start feeding the dog. It'll only encourage it to stay." And I'm like, "Oh, the dog's gonna fucking die."
oh man.
Dog does not die.
Okay, thank God.
That's why I wanted to give the forewarning. Dog
Yeah.
does not die. Because I've had people that have watched movies where something like that comes into the frame. And prime example, They Slash Them, the movie They Slash Them with Kevin Bacon.
Uh-huh.
They kill a dog in the movie. And as the scene is coming up, my wife goes, if they killed the dog, I am done watching this movie. And then they
Yeah.
killed the dog, and she was like, we can watch something else.
Yeah.
So they do not kill the dog in this movie. We're both
Great.
dog people. We're both dog
Yes.
people. So Monkey Man is my number six. What's your number five?
My number five, I saw this in a lot of people's top three. It didn't shoot that high up for me, but I really liked it. I saw it, I think, 3 times in theaters. It was probably during the summer. It was my number one movie for a while, but it's Dune Part Two. I loved it. I really loved Dune Part One, and I think Dune Part Two is even better. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's fantastic.
Have you watched the TV series on HBO?
I have not yet. I keep meaning to. I've just been too busy to watch like a TV show lately, and I haven't really heard much about it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a shot after I watch
I
Monkey Man.
I really enjoyed Dune 2. It's not on my list. but I really, my wife didn't get into the first movie.
Mm.
Wasn't her cup of tea. I enjoyed the first one. I enjoyed the second one more.
Yeah.
I love just the cinematography. As I grow as an adult, like I've always enjoyed movies, but the older I get, like the more I really start looking at the cinematography, really the shots that are being set up, the story that's
Oh,
coming with it.
and
And
Denis is so good. Like
and
his shots
oh,
are just incredible.
yeah, and just them and the I just all it's so good. I really
And you know what's funny is it's actually pretty funny too. Like there's like a sequence where uh he's like what's his name for No Country for Old Men?
oh,
Uh
Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem is like Lisa Nagaib. It's like Timothy Chalamet doesn't really have to do much, but like, oh, because he says he's not Lisa Nagaib, he is Lisa
Yeah.
Nagaib.
The more you deny it, the more I know it's the truth.
Yeah, and he's like, what else can you do? Like you can't convince him otherwise.
Oh, that's a good one though. I did enjoy it. I also want to check out the TV series, but there's many other things that I have seen.
Yeah.
With that, we'll get on to my number four. My number four was at one point my number one. It was actually the movie that beat out Monkey Man for number one. It is directed by Rich Papati. Also directed by, it is a film straight out of Ireland called Kneecap.
Oh,
It's about a Irish trio when fate brings Belfast teacher JJ into the orbit of self-confessed low-life scum Noyce and Liam Og. The needle drops on a hip-hop act like no other. Rapping in their native Irish, they lead a movement to save their mother tongue.
wow.
It's based on a true group. It's a real hip hop trio. They're really based out of Ireland. They really rap mostly in Irish. There's a little bit of English. But it is I love hip hop. I'm like 89% Irish, so like I should
Hmm.
absolutely love this movie and I should learn Irish, which I'm doing. But
Hmm.
it is it
It's got
I
Michael
legit
Fassbender in it.
yeah, dude, that is gonna be the biggest name in it is Michael Fassbender, 100%.
Yeah.
Um, and he's barely in the movie, but it
Yeah.
is it is just so it's just so it's I love it so much. It was just so much fun. And like I said, I love hip hop, and it's got them performing a majority of their songs. There's like three or four songs in the movie that they perform, but it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah. I had not heard of it at all. Is that another one of those
That was another mystery movie.
history movie? Nice.
Yeah, yeah, like every other movie has been a mystery movie. That's my last mystery movie on my list, though.
Okay.
So with that, we get to number four.
Number four, for me, this one was just another one in the summer that I went to go see several times in the theaters. I've since seen it a few times at home, just put it on because it's really funny and fun and stupid, and I really loved it. It's Deadpool and Wolverine. Um, I love Hugh Jackman, and I love the. I didn't love all the Wolverine movies. I really liked Logan. I was one of the few people that I knew that I liked. Um, was the Wolverine? I think it was
The
called
one
the
in the one
in
in
Japan.
Japan, the
Yeah.
Wolverine.
But yeah,
You're not a fan of Origins?
no, I don't
You
think I
you
liked
don't you don't
Origins.
like you don't like Will I Am?
No, I really did not like that movie, and I did not like uh X-Men The Last Stand, I think it was the third one.
Yeah, that's Last Stand.
Yeah, but I liked X1, the first X-Men movie, and X2. I really like both of those. Um and yeah, I think the movie is just a love letter to the Fox X-Men movies and all those shitty 2000s superhero movies. And I don't know. I had a great time. I love it. It's really funny. And that's my second road trip movie in my list.
I mean, maybe we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. I saw Deadpool and Wolverine three times in the theaters, and I have watched it twice since it came out.
That sounds
Um,
about my also, but my
I have a lot of great things to say about Deadpool and Wolverine, but I will wait for my turn.
All right.
I tell a lie. I think I said on Kneecap that was my last mystery movie on my list. I tell a lie. The biggest movie by far. I am sitting in the theater. Um, movie starts, Paramount logo. I'm like, wow, Paramount logo. This is a big movie. Then the Tony Scott logo comes up, and I'm like, what has Tony Scott been doing? It's Gladiator 2.
That was a mystery movie?
That was a mystery movie, was Gladiator 2.
That's crazy. Usually they do things they don't think are going to do that well, right?
I
Or like
it is bonkers.
oh.
Yeah, went and saw it again, was going to see it a third time. The third time I showed up to the movie at 11. It's 11:45 for the movie. I thought it was 11:25. So I showed up at 11:25, sitting in the theater by myself for 20 minutes. As the trailers are starting in a empty theater, someone walks in on the back row and sits 2 seats away from me.
Oh my God.
Like me, empty seat, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
In an empty theater. Like he could have just gone one row forward and he would have been fine. And I literally audibly out loud just went, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Got up, walked out of the theater, asked for a refund, and
Wow.
and instead went and watched Craven the Hunter later that day. About
Oh,
2 hours.
you poor thing.
No, hey, okay. We can talk about Craven later, but
Okay.
I'm going to say like it's not the worst fucking Sony movie that they have made.
All right.
Have you seen Madam Web?
I have not seen Madam Web.
Madam Web is the dog shit of those. No, Craven the Hunter. I got over the fact that they made him who they made him, and I just turned my brain off and enjoyed it for the great violent action that it is, and it's just totally entertaining.
So every year my family goes to a movie the day after Christmas, and we couldn't decide this year. I was trying to convince everyone to go see Wicked, but my brothers didn't want to see Wicked. And so they all decided to go see Craven. And I went to see Sonic 3. And I had a great time. They came out of the theater like, yeah, you were right. It was dog shit.
I mean, because they walked in with a higher expectation. They probably walked in expecting a Marvel movie.
They were like, that was a Marvel movie, right? I was like, no, I told you guys this. I told you this.
No, it's Sony. It is the same universe, but it is not. No, it's I'm not comparing it to Marvel. Sonic 3 was the last new movie I saw in 2024. And I didn't see Sonic 2, and Sonic 3 was thoroughly enjoyable. I saw a lot of the tropes and the things coming up a mile away.
Yeah.
But that's because trailers give away too much, and I know way too much about movies.
Yeah. It's not in my top 10, but it's in, we might see it come up later. But so Craven, I don't know about that.
Yeah. So Gladiator was my number 4, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I wish I could have seen it a third time, but 2 was good. What was your number 3?
I was gonna say real quick is that I was supposed to see Gladiator 2 yesterday in Albuquerque because I was flying back from New Mexico, and I was like, we don't have time for that, and it's too long, and I mean we're basically gonna get out of the theater and have to go straight to the airport. And so I didn't go see it, but I will see it at some point.
You should see it. I recommend trying to catch it before it leaves the theaters.
I'll try. I mean, I've got this whole week off pretty much, so I'm going to try to go see Nosferatu tomorrow, and then maybe I'll go see Gladiator 2.
I'd recommend seeing Gladiator 2 before Nosferatu.
Okay, all right.
For me, that's a Nosferatu. No.
Nosferatu.
It's a Nosferatu.
My number 3 is a movie called I Saw the TV Glow. I really, really loved this movie. It's weird when you watch a movie that makes you feel nostalgic for a life you never had. Like I was never a Buffy person. I never watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer growing up, but watching this movie made me feel like, I miss watching Buffy in the 90s. Like I never did that. But this movie made me feel that way, and I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I thought that Justice Smith was incredible, it was just one of those movies that I walked out of it. I was like, man, that was something that was just like exactly what I wanted from that movie. And
I know it's on HBO, so I guess on my next day off I'll have to sit down and watch it. I've been meaning to watch it. I've been wanting to watch it. It's
yeah,
just finding the time to sit down and enjoy it.
it's another depressing movie. It's very depressing, and
Oh,
it's
that's good to know.
yeah. But it's not a horror movie. It was kind of marketed a little bit as like a horror movie. It's a sad boy
Okay, no, wait,
movie
wait,
with a
really quick. You're
soundtrack.
not leading me into another Sorry to Bother You, are you? You're not leading me into another one of those, are you?
There's no horse penis in this movie, but it's
Okay. There's no equestrians? No
no
equestrians.
equestrians. No.
All right. All right. You fooled me last time.
Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on you.
That's right.
Fool me twice. Okay.
What's your number three?
I will have to check out I See the TV Glow though. I think I'm excited for it. My number three you were just talking about. My number three was my number one for a long time, and that was a movie I saw 3 times in the theaters, and that was Deadpool and Wolverine. I
Nice.
saw this movie in okay, so folks, if you have not seen Deadpool and Wolverine, I am about to spoil things if you have not seen it, so you've been fucking warned. Sold out theater, went with my buddy Tommy. And I don't know if you fell for it the first time, but I
Yes.
fell hook, line, sinker
For Chris Evans.
for Chris Evans.
Yep.
I'm sitting there and he's like, he's about to say it. And he's like, Avengers, and he fucking flame on. And I
Yep.
legit grab my buddy's arm and I go, no. I'm like, ah, like I freak out.
I couldn't believe it.
All 3 times that I saw it in the theaters, and it is the music, it is the energy, it is just the whole scene, and that is Elektra, and that is Blade, and that
Yep.
is Gambit. And I
Yeah.
will tell you, all 3 times that I saw it in the theaters, and the last time I watched it on streaming, tears.
Yeah.
Tears of just absolute joy. First of all, Blade is amazing. Like my new tattoo,
Yeah.
I got the sigil of Deacon Frost like on my
Nice.
fucking arm. And then Gambit's like my favorite X-Men.
Yeah.
And I
Channing
remember
Tatum killed it.
And I remember 10 years ago when Channing Tatum was like, I'm making a Gambit movie, and everyone was laughing at him. And I was like, no, man, this is going to be fucking on point. And he just fucking killed Gambit, and he was amazing. And I hope they bring so many more people into the multiverse with everything. Even with the stupid Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom bullshit that's happening,
Yeah.
and all the other names that I see that are possibly coming back, that's fucking killing me. Deadpool and Wolverine was, yeah, it's just a love letter to all of those movies, and it's hilarious because like Liev Schreiber said, the only reason that he didn't come back as Sabretooth is because he didn't want to lose the weight. He didn't want to get
Yeah.
chip.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's
And-
my number three.
And who knew you'd ever see a Madonna song while a bunch of Deadpools get slaughtered in succession?
Oh my god!
Incredible.
Once again, tears when he fucking reaches back and pulls over the fucking. Oh my god!
Oh yeah.
Just tears. Niagara Falls, Frankie. Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
But that's my number two. Moving on. What's your
All
number? Or my number three? What's your number two?
My number two is a horror movie, and I think we've talked before about the fact that I'm not much of a horror fan.
Please don't spoil this movie because I have not seen it and I want to, and I don't
Okay.
know a lot because I know what movie it is.
Yep, I'm not telling you anything about it because the less you know, the better.
Yep.
But it's a horror movie called The Substance,
Yep.
and I watched it in theaters, and I was smiling ear to ear the entire time. It makes you so uncomfortable, but in the way where you're like squirming, like, oh my god, oh no, and you will just. The only thing I'll say is the last 30 minutes were a masterpiece. For someone who watches a lot of movies and you kind of know, like the formula for movies a lot, and when you see the last 30 minutes at least of this movie, it blew me away. I love a movie that just surprises the hell out of me. And my God, Demi Moore, she's got it. She's so good, and you've never seen her do a movie like this, and you definitely need to see it as soon as
Spectacular. Possible. Yeah, the one thing that the movie that I'll say check out, that don't check anything on it, that this was a movie that the formula like surprised me. Boy Kills World, but I'll
Yeah.
get into that later.
Yeah.
The Substance, I really want to see it. I'm waiting for it to come on streaming or like way drop in price for possible buying.
Yeah. It's
Um,
incredible.
so for my number two, there's a little bit of a backstory, and I'll make it neat and quick. So over the summer, not the summer, October, my wife and I drove from California to Massachusetts and back because my father passed away, and we went and spread his ashes at the family plot. While we were in Graceland, my wife rearranged the days and the plans to get to New Jersey to go to Kevin Smith's theater in
Oh,
in Leonardo.
wow.
Uh, so when we were gonna be in Jersey, the theater was closed because it's closed on Monday, Tuesdays. So my wife rearranged on a Thursday the whole trip for us to get there on Sunday. I tweet out to Kevin Smith like, my wife is amazing. She arranged this whole trip because we're going to spread my dad's ashes so I can see a movie at Kevin Smith's theater, tweeting at Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith sees this, retweets it. What day are you going? What time are you seeing? I want to make sure there's you get gifts and condiments
Wow.
for the loss. Go to the theater. I end up seeing the 4:30 movie, which is Kevin Smith's movie that he
Yep.
filmed at that theater.
My God.
He paid for the tickets. He gave me like 3 T-shirts. He gave me a handful of stickers. He gave me a couple pins. He
Wow.
wasn't there. He was actually in Los Angeles with Ralph Garman
Yeah.
doing a podcast. But the theater is fucking amazing. The
Wow.
theater is spectacular. It's got so much Kevin Smith memorabilia. And the movie just touched home and just hit so close. And I laughed. I cried. I cried more. And that's the 4:30 movie by Kevin Smith. That is my
Yeah.
number 2 film.
I forgot that came out. Did it get a wide release?
Limited release, as far as I know.
Limited.
It was
Yeah.
in Escondido at the Regal for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I didn't see it at all. And
Yeah.
I was like, I thought it might have just gone straight to streaming, but
I was lucky that I was able to catch it at the theater. It was
and
great.
you loved
And
it.
I
It's your
now
number
own,
2, so
it is my number 2.
yeah, wow. I gotta see it. I gotta check
What's
it out.
your number 1?
All right. My number 1, I am in a movie club that meets every other Friday where each person picks a movie, we watch it, and then we go talk about it. We watched this movie by Sean Baker called Red Rocket. And I had heard of Sean Baker when he did the Florida Project with Willem Dafoe, and it was like kind of in movie or awards talks a few years ago. I think it was like 7 or 8 years ago. But I had not watched any of his movies. Tangerine is his other movie that got a lot of awards talk. But Red Rocket, I really liked it. It's really funny and just really like gets middle America poverty. And so when we were talking about it, and I was talking about how much I liked Red Rocket, my friends in the movie club said, if you liked Red Rocket, you got to go see Sean Baker's new movie, Honora. And I was like, I saw the trailer for that and it didn't look very interesting. It looked like a rom-com. And they're like, just go watch it. So I did. And Honora is now my number 1 movie of the year. It was my favorite movie. It's so good. It's a sex worker. It's Pretty Woman, but not.
With the Russian mob. No, I saw
the
the
Russian
trailer.
mob.
And by the time I went to go see it, the timing never lined up for me being able to go to the movies to see it. Wanted to see it. Was another one. I wanted to see it. The timing just never lined up properly.
You'll love it. It's so funny. It's like unexpectedly funny and just heartwarming and devastating and a different take on I don't know, on sex work and
on love,
poverty, on love and everything. It took me another one. The Substance and this one took me by complete surprise, and that's why they're so high on my list. I love when a movie exceeds my expectations and takes me in a different direction than I thought. And there's a point in this movie when you do see it, you'll see what I'm talking about, where you're like, "What the fuck is happening? Like, where is this going?" And yeah, it's great.
Okay,
Honora.
and my number 1 and my number 2 It's a lot of nostalgia. It's a lot of just reminiscing childhood feelings. I was excited from the moment I heard of the movie. The cast just knocks it out of the park. Absolutely stellar. It is Jason Reitman's second film in 2024
Hmm.
of Saturday Night.
I didn't get a chance to see this. I can't believe it's your number one.
My number one. I
Wow.
the minute it came out on streaming, I basically bought it.
I've been watching, there's a YouTube channel where they're recapping all the seasons of SNL, and I've been watching it every episode where they go through every season, going all the way up to season 50. And I've been obsessed with Saturday Night Live for so long, and I can't believe I haven't seen this movie.
Well, this is the first 2 hours before the first episode of Saturday Night Live. Um, the cast is just amazing. The guy that they have playing Dan Aykroyd is it's just all of them. It's Chevy Chase, it's Dan Aykroyd, it's Mort Garrison, it's Jane Lynch, it's Lorraine Newman, it's Gilda Radner, it's John Belushi. Their Belushi is spectacular.
Yeah.
It made me laugh so much.
I didn't love who they got for Lauren, but then you hear him speak, and then I watched some old episodes where Lauren is featured. I'm like, oh my, they nailed it.
Oh, he's good. And I totally forgot about Chevy, the guy they have playing Chevy. I forget his name right now, but it's the guy that played the Riddler on Gotham.
Oh yeah.
And they're so good. And I'm not gonna say who the actor is, and don't look into it at all. But the guy that plays Milton Berle is spectacular, and
Yeah.
it's a well-known actor. I laughed so hard with just all of Milton Berle's scenes.
I have to apologize to you right now. I don't think I'm gonna watch Monkey Man tonight. I think I'm gonna watch Saturday Night tonight.
Oh no! If you're gonna watch anything, watch Saturday Night tonight. 100% watch Saturday Night.
I just
But-
made up my mind. I'm gonna watch it tonight. I'm gonna
But
rent
yeah,
it.
my number one for the year is Saturday Night. It made me laugh. It made me cry. It made me think of watching old reruns. There's just there once you watch it, like I'll just tell you just like the heartbreaking scene for me, because I don't want to really give anything away. No, I mean not. It's all hearsay and it's just I loved it. It was just so heartwarming. I saw that one twice in the theater. I truth be told, they were actually reversed. 4:30 was my number one, and Saturday Night was my number two. And I went and saw Saturday Night a second time in the theater, and I was like, oh no, like I cried just as much the second time in Saturday Night as I did in the first time, and it's
Nice.
just it's so good. It's so good. As we're wrapping up though, because we're coming up on an hour, and I like to keep it tight.
Yeah.
What are some honorable mentions?
All right. My honorable mentions. First up is Problemista, written and I think directed by oh my god, I forgot his name right now. It's the guy from Los Spookies, Julio Torres. He was a writer on SNL. He wrote one of my favorite sketches of all time. It's the Mattel's Well for Sensitive Little Boys. It's the episode with Emma Stone where she plays the mom, and it's a well for boys who aren't just like the other kids. They like to stare into a well and think about life. And yeah. Anyway, Julio Torres, Problemista, also starring Tilda Swinton, who's fantastic in it. I saw it in theaters, really liked it. Next one is Sonic 3. We had kind of talked about it. I had a great time. Jim Carrey is great. Like, what else can I say?
He just eats the scene up.
And when he's double, like it's double the scene eating. Like I can't.
It's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And then next one for me is Late Night with the Devil. We kind of talked about this. I had it higher, and then as I started looking at my list of movies, I was like, I liked all these more than Late Night with the Devil, though. Like, I liked it.
Late Night is on my honorable mention, but it's there were other movies that I saw.
Another one is Cuckoo.
I wish I had seen that. I missed that one.
Yeah,
it's on I think Hulu right now.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. I didn't like it as much as I thought I was gonna like it, but I still liked it. You know, it's like I wasn't disappointed, but I was like, oh, it wasn't as mind blowing as I thought it was gonna be. But anyway, last one of my honorable mentions is Inside Out 2. I think that was the number one grossed movie of the year. It made buckets and buckets of money. I really liked it, but I didn't love it enough to put in my top 10. But I was like, you know what? Yeah, it was
I
really
like
good.
I liked the first movie enough, but
Yeah,
not enough to warrant me wanting to see a sequel. Uh, I'm just way over. I'm way over two genres. I'm way over movies that are a solid single movie as a standalone.
yeah,
That get sequels made. Inside Out is one of those for me. Joker is one of those for me.
yeah,
We won't even need to get into Joker 2. And then stop trying to make, and this goes into Craven the Hunter. Stop trying to make villains heroes. Villains
yeah.
are villains for a fucking reason. Um,
Exactly.
my if we're going with 15 for honorable mentions, my
Sure.
number 15, which was much higher on the list earlier in the year, Late Night with the Devil. Truth be told, I actually have 16. My number 16 was ISS, International Space Station.
I
That
didn't see
was
that one.
actually I don't remember if I saw that one intentionally or if that was a mystery movie.
Yeah.
But that was a fun one. Number 14 is The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. That was a mystery movie from AMC. My number 13, mystery movie from AMC, Boy Kills World. My number 12, which was my number one for the longest time, actually until I saw Deadpool and Wolverine. Actually, no, Monkey Man. Monkey Man replaced it. Book
Yeah.
of Clarence. Book of Clarence was actually the
Yes.
first movie I saw this year,
You
uh,
told me
and
about that one.
and it was a mystery movie, and it was great. And then my number 11 is In a Violent Nature.
Oh,
Oh, you don't know In a Violent
I don't.
Nature?
I
Let me
don't think
tell
so.
you this: it is a movie about a killer like Jason in that fashion, except the whole movie is third person from the killer's perspective. So the whole time you are
Oh,
basically watching the kid. Half of the movie is the killer walking, and it
yeah.
is so spectacular. I had a
Ah,
smile on my face the entire time.
wow.
And they're
Um.
making a sequel.
Oh, nice. Um.
But those are my honorable mentions.
I'm surprised. Okay, two things I'm surprised about. Neither of us had Beetlejuice on our lists. I don't know if you liked it or not.
I did
Yeah,
like it. I
I
didn't
liked
like
it.
it. I didn't like it enough to
Same.
it was good, but it's like 20 years too late.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. Did you watch Snack Shack?
No, it's on my list of things
Yeah.
to buy. I saw the Red Band trailer, and that was such a limited fucking release. My theater didn't even get it.
I thought
I want to
I would have
fuck
put
dogs
money.
so bad.
I would have put money that that would have been on your list if you would have seen it.
Oh, if
Uh,
if I had seen it, yeah, probably
yeah.
would have been on my list.
And then another one I wanted to mention is I just watched Juror Number Two, the
Oh, Clint Eastwood's
Clint
possible
Eastwood.
last film.
Yeah, and yeah, it was fine.
I've seen it on.
It was
I've
fine.
been scrolling TikTok, and a couple people have their top 10, and these people, man, I don't understand some of these people and how they have their. One person had Megalopolis as their number two.
That's insane.
Another person had Challengers on their list.
Okay,
That movie,
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard it's all right. It's
uh,
for a certain type of person, I think.
that movie made me sexually uncomfortable in the theater.
Yeah.
And it was also a waste of my time. But no, I wish I haven't seen Snack Shack yet. But with that, 2025 is just around the corner. Literally 20 some odd hours, 30 some odd hours away. Sooner than that when you folks hear this.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll start doing more episodes in 2025. And as always, Ryan, you'll always be welcome back.
Thanks, man. And I was gonna mention uh, the last episode I was on in April. I started my weight loss journey in May of this last year, and so I've lost 75. Well, at this point, I think now 78 pounds. But so I think it'll be interesting to see like me last year, and then me in April, and then me now, like side by side on your show. It's like hopefully next time I see you, I'll be at my weight, my goal weight.
Well,
Uh,
hopefully the next time you see me, I will have lost some fucking weight as well. Because I stopped all of my exercise and routines just for bullshit reasons. And have just recently started that up. I know, but with that being said, though, you do look great.
Thank you.
I could tell that you have lost weight. And
Yeah.
it's great seeing your posts with your journey. And Bowie, I love seeing Bowie.
Yes. But
And
she's, I don't know where she is right
oh,
now.
she
She,
was walking around earlier. I saw her tail
yeah.
wagging around in the back area. But Ryan, I always have love having you on. You're one of my top guests. It's always great having you on, talking movies, having conversations. I'm trying to talk the boys over at Back to the Retro Review on bringing you in for a game episode,
That'd
to
be
where the
great.
host Kevin, because he's horrible at games, and I was like, well, you come up with the games and then you bring Ryan in, and then it's three people,
Oh
Red
yeah.
Rot, just playing games.
I would
So
love to play some games. I can't wait to lose to you like I always do.
no, the last time we played, I want to say you won. I want to say you won. So I am going to let you get going, ladies and gentlemen. Happy New Year, a happy 2024. Hopefully, we have a happy 2025. And until next time, tip the field, try the staff. Thanks you all for coming. And if you didn't, better luck next time.